Have you ever had something important to do, something you care about, but instead of starting, you delay it, avoid it, or distract yourself? The strange part is, it's not because you don't care. Sometimes, the more important it is, the harder it feels to begin. You tell yourself you'll start later, but later keeps getting pushed away. Deep down, you feel frustrated, disappointed in yourself. This is a confusing part of procrastination. It's not about laziness or lack of discipline. Sometimes, it happens precisely because you care. To understand why, you have to look deeper into what's happening inside your mind. At its core, procrastination is not a time problem, it's an emotional one. It's your brain's way of avoiding discomfort. When you think about starting something important, it can trigger feelings like pressure, fear, doubt, or overwhelm. Instead of facing those feelings, your mind looks for ways to escape them. One of the biggest reasons you procrastinate is fear of failure. When something matters to you, the outcome also matters. That creates pressure. You start thinking, what if I don't do it well? Or what if I try and it's not enough? That fear can feel uncomfortable, so your brain avoids the situation entirely. By not starting, you temporarily avoid the possibility of failing. Another hidden reason is fear of success. This might sound strange, but success can bring change. It can bring new expectations, more responsibility, and even more pressure. If part of you feels unprepared for that, your mind may slow you down. Staying where you are feels safer than stepping into something unknown. Perfectionism also plays a major role. When you care about something, you want it to be good, maybe even perfect. But that high standard can make starting feel overwhelming. You might feel like you need the perfect plan, timing, or mindset. And because those conditions never fully exist, you stay stuck in preparation instead of taking action. Another important factor is overwhelm. When a task feels too big, your brain struggles to know where to begin. It sees the entire project at once, instead of breaking it into smaller steps. This creates a feeling of being stuck. So instead of starting, you avoid it and turn to something easier. There's also a connection between procrastination and self-doubt. If you don't fully believe in your ability to complete something, starting can feel risky. You may question whether you're capable, whether you have enough knowledge, or whether you'll succeed. And instead of facing those doubts, your mind delays action. Another reason is emotional fatigue. If you're already mentally or emotionally drained, even simple tasks can feel difficult. Your brain prioritizes comfort and rest, choosing activities that require less effort. This isn't always laziness. It's often a sign that your energy is low. There's also a concept called instant reward versus delayed reward. Your brain naturally prefers activities that give immediate satisfaction. Important tasks, on the other hand, often have delayed rewards. The benefit comes later, not right away. So your brain chooses what feels good now, even if it's not helpful long term. Another deeper layer is identity. If, at some point, you developed a belief, like I'm not disciplined or I always procrastinate, your behavior may start to match that belief. You act in ways that reinforce it, even if you want to change. This creates a cycle where your actions and beliefs continue to support each other. But here's the important truth. Procrastination is not a sign that you don't care. It's a sign that something about the task is emotionally uncomfortable. And once you understand that, you can start to approach it differently. The first step is awareness. Instead of calling yourself lazy, ask yourself, what am I feeling about this task? Are you overwhelmed, afraid, doubting yourself? Identifying the emotion helps you understand the real problem. The next step is making the task smaller. Instead of focusing on the entire project, break it into the smallest possible step. Something so simple that it feels easy to start. This reduces overwhelm and makes action feel more manageable. It also helps to remove the pressure of perfection. Instead of trying to do it perfectly, focus on just starting. Remind yourself that progress is better than perfection. You can improve things later, but you can't improve something that doesn't exist yet. Another powerful step is using time limits. Instead of telling yourself to complete the entire task, commit to working on it for a short period, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. This lowers resistance because it feels less overwhelming, and often, once you start, it becomes easier to continue. You also need to build self-trust. Each time you follow through on a small commitment, you strengthen your confidence in yourself. Over time, this reduces self-doubt and makes it easier to take action without overthinking. It's also important to manage your environment, reduce distractions, create a space that supports focus, and make it easier to start than to avoid. Sometimes, small changes in your environment can make a big difference in your behavior. Another key step is being kind to yourself. Procrastination often comes with self-criticism, which only makes things worse. Instead of blaming yourself, try to understand yourself. The more you approach the problem with curiosity instead of judgment, the easier it becomes to change. You also need to accept that discomfort is part of the process. Starting something important will not always feel easy. There will be resistance, doubt, and hesitation. But those feelings don't mean you should stop. They mean you're stepping into something meaningful. Over time, as you take small actions and face discomfort, your brain begins to change. It starts associating action with progress instead of stress, and what once felt overwhelming becomes more manageable. At the end of the day, procrastination is not about a lack of carrots, often about too much pressure, too much fear, or too much expectation. And once you understand that, you stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself. Because the goal is not to force yourself into action, it's to make action feel safe enough to begin. And when you reach that point, something shifts. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you finally start moving forward.